Hello everyone and welcome back to my Linux tutorial. For this tutorial I'm going to focus on file path, and working with file path in Linux gives you the ability to maneuver around your file system without having to use cd to get out of one directory, to list some files in another directory, or to copy or to move some files around on your system. So on the screen right now I created a little diagram to show a visual example how your file system is set up. So in your file system or on your computer, you have the root folder, and the root folder is represented by the /. And under the root folder or inside of the root folder, you have a couple other folders like your var, bin, ect, home, op, your temp folder, and the user. And under each of those folders, you have different folders. For example, inside of the var folder, you have your spool, you have audit, you have log, you have db. Inside of bin, you have your commands. Under users, you will find library or lib, bin, sbin, locals, shares, and other folders. 90% of the time when people are creating directories, creating files, most people that are using the system will create files and folders in the home directory. If you don't know what you're doing, I highly recommend you do not go into any of these folders and make any type of modification, because those folders are used to run your system or to run your computer properly. If you have to do anything on your system, it's always safe to do it in the home folder. So when you are on a Linux based system, there are two symbols that can take you around on your file system. So you have the tilde, and the tilde represent your home, and you have the slash, and the / represent root. So right now I'm inside of the home folder, and you know if you are on the home folder based on the symbol. When I see this tilde symbol, I know that I'm in my home folder. So if I do an ls to list the files and folders inside of my home folder, I have a list of directories and files that I've created. Root is represented with a /. So if I say cd and the /, now I'm inside of my root folder. And if I do an ls, you would see there are a couple folders that is located inside of my root folder. So I'm going to use cd tilde to get back into my home folder, and I'm going to clear the screen using the clear command. When you're working with file path, there are two types of path that you can use to maneuver around your system freely. You have the absolute path and you have the relative path. The absolute path starts with the /, and then you give the full path to the directory. The relative path have to do with your current working directory or your current location. So once you're inside of a specific folder, you can go into other folders using the relative path. So I'm going to do an ls again on the home folder. So I want to go inside of the tutorial folder. So I can say cd and tutorial. And now I'm inside of the tutorial folder. So if I do an ls on that folder to list the files, you would see that I have a bunch of script files, text files, and folders. Now, inside of the tutorial folder, I have a file called myfile. I want to list the content that is inside of the myfile folder using relative path. And to do that, you have to use the command ls and dot. And dot in Linux means your current working directory or your current location. So dot and a /, and then I'm going to say myfile. And when I hit enter, I get back all of the files that is inside of the myfile folder. Currently, I'm inside of the tutorial folder, and I want to list the contents inside of the tfiles folder that is located inside of my home folder or my home directory. To list the files inside of the tfile folder, I can do that from the tutorial folder without having to get out of the tutorial folder, go inside of my home folder, then go inside of the tfile folder to list the files. I can do that right from the tutorial folder using the absolute path. Absolute path always begins with a /. So I'm going to say ls /, and I'm going to use home because I want to go into the home directory or my home folder. I'm going to do /, and I'm going to give my name /, and then I want to go inside of the tfiles folder. So I'm going to specify which folder I want to go into. And when I hit enter, it brought back the folder that is located inside of the tfiles folder, which is located inside of my home folder. I'm going to go one step up inside of the home folder. And to do that, you can use cd and dot dot, and dot dot means to go one step above. So I'm going to say cd dot dot, and it's going to take me back to home, and it shows me that now I'm in the home folder because the tilde represents your home folder. So there are some symbols that you can use to get around your file system. So you have the dot, and the dot represent your current working directory. You also have dot dot, and dot dot means one step above. You also have forward slash, and forward slash represent root. Now I'm inside of the home folder. I'm going to list the contents again, and I want to get inside of the tutorial folder. So I'm going to do cd tutorial. Right now I'm inside of the test folder, and to get into the test folder from the home folder, I just did 3 different commands. So I moved into the tutorial folder using the cd command. Now that I'm inside of the tutorial folder, I want to get inside of the test folder, and I use the next cd command again to get inside of the test folder. Now, if I'm in the home folder, I can eliminate these 3 steps by using one command. So let's do cd dot dot to get back to the home folder. So I'm going to clear the screen. So now I'm currently inside of the home folder. I can get to the test folder by using either relative path or absolute path. So to get into the test folder using relative path, we can say cd/test. And when I hit enter, you can see now I'm inside of the test folder. So I just eliminated 3 steps to get inside of my test folder. So I'm going to go back to my home folder. I can also get to the test folder using absolute path. And to get into the test folder using absolute path, I'm going to use the command cd. And I'm going to say /home/npop1, which is my username, /tutorial/test. And that would also get me to the test folder. So this command is using absolute path, and this command is using relative path. Now inside of the test folder, I'm going to do an ls to list the files inside of that folder. And you can see I have 2 directories and 2 files. So I have a dir1 and a dir2. So if I want to get back to the home folder, there are 2 things I can do. I can say cd and tilde, and that will get me back to the home folder. So I'm going to hit enter, and now I'm back inside of my home folder. I'm going to go back inside of the test folder again using absolute path. And now I'm in the test. I can get back to the home folder using cd /. So // means go up 1 step above, and 1 step above will be the tutorial folder. And then I'm going to do // again, and 1 step above from the tutorial folder will be my home folder. And if I hit enter, now I'm back inside of my home folder. So if you are inside of folders, then inside of folders, then inside of folders, you can go ahead and use cd // and it will keep taking you 1 step above. So I'm going to go back inside of the test folder again, but this time I'm going to use a relative path. So I'm going to say cd tutorial/test. So now I'm inside of the test folder. I'm going to do an ls, and I want to go inside of the dir folder. So I'm going to say cd dir2. And now I'm inside of the dir2 folder. Inside of the dir2 folder, I have another folder called Toronto. And inside of the Toronto folder, I have another folder, and I have a text file inside of that folder. I created this little drawing to demonstrate how the file system works. So inside of my tutorial folder, I have a test folder, I have my file folder, and I have a ptest folder, and plus a couple other scripts and text files. But I'm working with folders right now, so I'm going to only list folders. So inside of the tutorial folder, I have 3 different folders. Inside of the test folder, I have 2 folders called dir1 and dir2. So inside of dir2, I have a folder called Toronto. Inside of the Toronto folder, I have another folder called security, and inside of the security folder, I have a file called parking.txt. My current location will be in dir1, and the file is located in dir2. So I want to copy this file inside of dir2 and put it inside of my current working directory. And my current working directory is dir1. So I did an ls on dir1 and we have no files or folder. So it's an empty folder. So let's copy the content in dir2 and put it in dir1. So to copy the file, I'm going to say cp, which means copy the file. I'm going to use dot dot slash, and dot dot slash means to take me one step above. So if I go back in my drawing, currently I'm in dir1, dot dot slash will take me up to the test folder. Now I'm inside of the test folder. I want to specify that I want to go inside of dir2. Once I'm in dir2, take me to the Toronto folder. And once I'm inside of the Toronto folder, take me inside of the security folder and find parking.txt file and put it in my current working directory. And to copy it in the current working directory or inside of my current working directory, I'm going to use the dot, and the dot means your current location. So copy that file and put it inside of my current location. And when I hit enter, everything worked properly. So if I do a next ls, you would see that the parking.txt file is now inside of my dir1 folder. So let's say I'm still in dir1 and I want to copy a file from dir2 and I want to place the file in dir2. So I'm still in dir1, but I want to copy the file and place it in dir2. But this time, I don't want to just copy the file. I want to rename the file. So let's rename the file to something like parking 2 or under parking or underground parking or some name like that. So let's go back into the test folder using cd dot dot slash. So now I'm inside of the test folder. Let's do ls dot slash dir2 and you can see I have the Toronto folder. Now let's do ls slash dir2 slash Toronto slash security and I hit enter. You can see I have only the parking.txt file in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to copy the parking.txt file and rename it to a different file, and we're going to put it back in the security folder. And instead of the dir1 folder, we're going to do all of the copying or renaming the file, but we're going to put that file inside of a different location. So we're going to say copy, so cp dot dot slash, so go back up one step to the test folder, and then when you get to the test folder, go inside of the dir2 folder. When you get inside of the dir2 folder, go inside of the Toronto folder. When you get inside of the Toronto folder, go inside of the security folder, and once you're inside of security folder, look for the file parking.txt, and once you find parking.txt, we're going to do the same command again. So we're going to copy this line of code, Control C, Control V. So now we're inside of the security folder. I want to copy that file and I want to rename that file parking2.txt, and I hit enter. So go one step above, dot dot slash, go inside of dir2, and inside of dir2, go inside of the Toronto folder. Inside of the Toronto folder, go inside of the security folder. Remember, we're still working inside of dir1 and we're trying to access files and folders inside of dir2 using relative path. We're going to have parking.txt too, and you see we have parking.txt and parking2.txt. So we just copied a file from one directory and placed it inside of the same directory, but we're doing all of that from a different directory. So we can also move inside of other directories using relative path as well. So we can say cd, and tilde means take me to home. So go home, and when you go home, take me to the tutorial folder, and once you get into the tutorial folder, I want to go inside of the myfile folder, and I hit enter. Now I'm inside of the myfile folder. So knowing how to use path in Linux, it's really helpful. It saves a lot of time. You could use the exact same path that I just did to rename files, to delete files, to move files, to list files or folders inside of a different directory. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking and sharing the video, and I will catch you guys in the next tutorial.